Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna be having like a true story animation called I Faked Losing My Memory. I don't really know what this video is about. Before the video starts, remember to subscribe, and yeah, let's have a look at this true story animation. The channel that made this video is called My Story Animated. They'll be linked in the description down below, so definitely go and check them out.
I think I have loved Jake since we were kids. We were next door neighbors and constant playmates. It was the most natural thing that we became best friends. Jake lived with his grandparents. He was always over my house. I think he enjoyed being part of a normal family, so I made him play with doll houses with me. He taught me how to play baseball. We rode our bikes and flew kites. We played princess and monsters.
I bet you this is gonna be like one of them childhood crushes, where basically the girl's got a crush on the boy, and then he doesn't like her back, so she has to do something to make him fall in love with her. And I've got a feeling that she's gonna pretend that she's deaf or that she's lost her memory.
Jake was always my knight in shining armor. We played in sandboxes, playgrounds, and even did our homework together. Jake and I were inseparable. When we got to junior high, we were each other's dates. It was easier that way. We were always together anyway. I didn't have to worry if I was pretty enough to be asked by other guys. Jake didn't have to be nervous about asking another girl.
Oh, isn't that so adorable? Like, I've kind of got friends like that. I feel like whenever you're growing up, you'll always have that one childhood friend that you're always going to be friends with. Whenever you get to my age, you might not be as friendly or as close to them. They're always going to have a place in your heart and you're always going to remember them. That's like me, because I've got a couple of people I used to always be super close to.
We did a lot of crazy things together. Once, when we were 10 years old, Jake dared me to drink some of his dad's brandy. It tasted awful. I threw up right after and got a terrible headache the next day.
And that is why you don't touch alcohol at a young age, kids. I feel like I done that with my friends as well, but it was way worse. Like, I'd make my friends eat dog poo. I don't know if that kind of makes me sound a bit like a psychopath, but it's true. We used to do really weird things like that. Like, we used to always jump into fields and like chase cows and just do really weird random stuff. We never done that, but I can understand why kids would do that.
Jake teased me a lot about puking, so I just pretended that I didn't remember anything that happened. That's how we were. Always joking and teasing. Since we were always together, we just both assumed that we would always be there for each other.
Yeah, and sadly when you get to my age, you realize that isn't actually how it works. I feel like something sad's gonna happen really soon, and that one of them's gonna fade away from the other person, or Jake's maybe gonna get a girlfriend and then maybe not speak to her as much.
We got teased a lot, especially by our families. They called us Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah, families seem to do that a lot. Whenever I'd hang out with my friends, my parents just automatically assume that we're dating. It's like, no, people can be friends and not date. Like, they were a kid once, they know what it's like. I don't know, they just do stuff to purposely irritate you. It's so annoying.
We just shrugged it off. Besides, I didn't think it was so bad if I ended up marrying Jake when we got older.
Yeah, she definitely has secret feelings for him. Like, low-key, she fancies him. Maybe he feels the same way, but I've got a feeling he doesn't.
It would be great to marry my best friend. When I would think about it, I always pictured myself at a wedding with me walking down the aisle with my hand on Jake's arm.
That is literally like me. Like, in primary school, I would talk to somebody for one day and then I'd have a crush on them. And then later that day, I'd think about marrying them and spending my life with them and then dying old together. And then when you're older, you realize that that's not how it works. Like, it would be good if that's how it worked, but sadly, it doesn't work that way.
It was like it was foretold. I already met my soulmate when I was just 4 years old. Do you want to meet and marry your soulmate too? Click the like button and subscribe to our channel.
Well, I mean, maybe you do, maybe you don't, I don't really know. But anyway, subscribe and leave a like. Go ahead, do it.
But as we got older, things began to change. I guess it's only natural that Jake started hanging out with other boys. I had other girlfriends too, but my best friend was always going to be Jake. Nothing was ever going to change that.
I told you, these stories always have a sad thing that happens at the beginning. Jake is definitely gonna forget about her, or he's not gonna want to be her friend anymore. Oh well, I guess we're gonna find out in a minute.
One day, Jake went over to my house and brought a new friend along. "Hey Sarah," he said, "this is Gilbert." When I looked at Gilbert, my heart totally stopped.
Okay, I've paused this, and I'm pretty sure that's not how you're meant to look whenever you fancy somebody. That is a look of horror. Like, she looks revolted. She looks like she's about to vomit. If somebody fancied me and they looked at me like that, I would run. Like, that's not a face you make when you fancy somebody. She looks terrified. I feel like she's gonna catch feelings for Jake's friend and then forget about Jake.
He was the most handsome boy I had ever seen.
Is he really,
When the sun hit the top of his head, his golden hair shone like a halo. I felt like I was looking at an angel. "Hi, Sarah," Gilbert said. He shook my hand and I felt the electricity pass between us.
Literally me in primary school whenever I meet somebody for the first day. Like, honestly, I know what she means. Sometimes you meet somebody and they just have that magic touch.
Jake asked me if they could hang out with me that day. Of course, I said yes. Gilbert turned out to be a great guy. It even helped that he looked like a model, too. He was funny and he was a good listener. He always smiled when Jake and I got into our arguments. I have to admit that I developed a little crush on Gilbert. How could I not? He was so handsome and kind. So, for months on end, it became the three of us.
Oh, it's like a little squad, the Three Musketeers. Thinking about it now, that's kind of like me with my friends. Like, I have two really close female friends that I always speak to. They literally are my only friends who I would meet up with as well. I don't really do duos. I've got one friend in England who I'm really close to, but I try to do trio, like 3 people. Because if you fall out with one of them, then it means you've got the other.
We watched movies together. We had silly picnics in the park. The summer before we all left for college, our parents agreed that we could all take a trip with just the 3 of us. So we went to the beach house of Gilbert's family and stayed overnight.
Oh no, I feel like something's gonna happen soon. Like, are they gonna fall out? Is somebody gonna die? I guess we're about to find out.
After dinner, Gilbert brought out some drinks. We giggled and laughed a lot, knowing that we weren't old enough to drink yet, but we did it anyway. I wasn't used to drinking, and I got drunk really fast. The next thing I knew, I was on the couch cuddling with Gilbert.
Oh no, I feel like something's gonna happen, and I think that what I think's gonna happen is actually gonna happen. I don't want that to happen. Oh, why are these stories like this? Like, I'm literally cringing watching a story. What is my life? Like, why am I acting like this? It's a story.
"You're so handsome," I told him while I stroked his cheek. I could see that Gilbert was getting uncomfortable. "Sarah, I think you've had enough to drink," he told me. He tried to push my hand away, but I refused, and instead, I did the most aggressive thing I have ever done in my life. I kissed Gilbert full on the lips.
And that is why I don't go to parties or drink alcohol. I don't know if it's just me, but I just can't be bothered staying with people in a massive group. Like, if I don't know who they are, I don't want to be around them. I couldn't imagine dancing. Like, I can't dance. I look like an old man. Parties just aren't my thing, and neither is alcohol. Like, I'd much rather just watch a movie or go out to a restaurant with people. I just hate socializing with people, to be honest.
I didn't know if it was his first kiss, but it was definitely mine. I only stopped kissing Gilbert when I heard the sound of something breaking. When I looked up, I saw Jake looking at us with a shocked look on his face.
Oh, Jake does not look happy. Now that is a face of fear. He's gonna kill them. Like, that is literally how she was looking at the boy earlier in this video. That is a face of disgust. Jake is not gonna be happy. Something bad is gonna happen.
Somehow, that look brought me to my senses. I blushed, stood up, and apologized. "Sorry, I think I've had enough to drink," I told the boys. I ran to the bathroom and locked myself in. I splashed some water on my face to clear my head. I felt so guilty about doing something like that, especially in front of Jake. When I remembered his face, I remember seeing anger, disbelief, and a little bit of disgust.
I bet you he fancies her. Like, I hate things like that. I hate whenever you get super close to somebody and then they don't tell you that they fancy you. It happened to me so much with old friends. Literally, you'd hang out with them, get really close with them, and then you guys would kind of fade a bit, and then they randomly message you like, "Yeah, I had feelings for you." And it's like, why didn't you tell me that at the time? Like, I hate it. I hate it so much.
I knew I loved Jake, but was I in love with him?
Well, if you love Jake, why'd you kiss another guy?
Should I have kissed him instead?
No, you shouldn't kiss any of them. They're your friend. Don't kiss your friends. That's weird.
It was a huge mistake to kiss Gilbert, but he was just so handsome.
Yeah, I can't stand this flirting and this adorableness. I can't stand it when people say stuff like that. Like, it actually makes me feel sick. Like, just act normal. Nobody cares.
Is this how it felt, loving 2 different people at the same time? I felt so confused, and I totally dreaded facing the 2 of them again the next morning. During breakfast the next day, Gilbert tried to talk to me. "Sarah, about last night," he started to say.
Oh, is this where she pretends that she can't remember? I think this is what the whole story is about. She now pretends that, like, she's lost her memory. Oh no, if she does, that isn't good.
But Jake butted in. "She doesn't remember," he said. "When we drank some of my dad's brandy when we were 10 years old, Sarah did a lot of silly things, but she forgot all about them the next day."
Okay. I don't know how to feel. Like, that sounded really sketchy. I didn't like the way he said that. What did she do when she was younger? I'm so confused.
Although I remember kissing Gilbert, I decided to play along. I lied and said I didn't remember doing anything the night before.
And this is why you shouldn't lie, because lies lead on to more lies, and then whenever you get stuck into a big fat lie, you can't get out of it. See, I used to do that. I would lie so much as a child. It was so bad. And then I'd always get in trouble. Like, it's not worth lying about stuff. And if you're gonna lie about it, at least make it believable and remember your lies. I remember I used to always tell lies and I'd forget that I'd said that as a lie. And then people would be like, but you told me something different. Oh no, please don't lie.
It was just easier to pretend that nothing happened. That memorable evening was the last one we had in a long time. I was off to a different college than the two boys. I knew I would only see them during the holidays. I was going to miss being with Jake all the time.
I don't know when this story's set, like what time, but maybe they'll have phones and social media. Like, they can FaceTime each other, and I'm sure at the weekend they could probably travel to see each other.
But it wasn't all that bad. We were still texting and calling each other a lot. I was glad to hear that Jake was still hanging out with Gilbert. I was bummed to hear that neither of them were coming back home for Christmas or spring break. Jake said that they had a lot of things planned with the boys. I just reminded him to be good and not to kiss random girls.
Oh, so Jake's not allowed to kiss random girls, but you're allowed to kiss his best friend. Okay, I see what's going on here. I think she might have a mini crush on Jake. Okay, let's see what happens next. I'm intrigued.
You're the random kisser, he teased me.
Jake really dragged her, like he really went there. Look at her face, she's disgusted.
It was a good thing that he couldn't see my face because I still remember that awkward night. So I didn't see the boys until the next summer. On my first day back, I heard a frantic knock on my bedroom door. I jumped out of bed quickly and opened the door. Jake was standing there, all tanned and smiling.
Think of it, it's been like nearly a year since they've all seen each other. That's so weird. Like, why does time fly so quickly in these animations? I'm only halfway through this story and I've already been recording for nearly 20 minutes. Like, how has time been going so quickly?
I hugged him fiercely. Then I felt another pair of arms around us. It was Gilbert. It was a nice three-way hug from a group of old friends. That summer almost felt like we were never apart. We spent every day together, just trying to catch up on missed time.
Oh, that's so adorable. Me and my friends are like that as well. Like, we're all really close. And it's really scary to think that they're all going off to university next year. Like, I'm not going to be able to see them for probably like a year. Or like, whenever I am going to get to see them, it'll only be during holidays. And I'm also moving to London next year. Like, that's so crazy. I'm literally growing up and I don't like it. Like, I don't want to grow up.
I felt a little jealous of some of the things Jake and Gilbert did without me. It sounded like they had a lot of fun in their college. What about you, Sarah? Gilbert asked. Break any hearts in that fancy college of yours? I laughed a little too loudly and shook my head. Now that Jake was here, I realized that he was the reason why I never fell for anyone in college.
So she does have a crush on Jake. I knew it from the start, like I can tell.
No one understood me like Jake did. I looked at him and knew that he felt exactly the same way.
So it is a childhood crush. They both had crushes on each other. Do you think that they're gonna kiss later in the video and then she's gonna pretend that she can't remember it? I feel like that's possibly gonna happen.
It was a surprise when he asked Gilbert to go home early that day. I've got to talk to Sarah for a bit.
Oh gosh, what's gonna happen? This doesn't sound good. I feel like something's about to go down.
Jake asked me to go for a walk. I was feeling kind of excited and nervous. What was he going to say? Was he finally going to let me know that he felt something between us? Were we finally finalizing that we were an item now? So we took a walk in the park. We sat down on a bench and he held my hand.
Oh no, he's holding her hand. I feel like it's gonna be a plot twist. Like with these stories, something weird always happens. Like, what is he gonna say?
There's something I want to tell you, Sarah. He began with all seriousness. I thought to myself, this is it. It doesn't matter to him that I kissed Gilbert last year. He knows that I was just drunk. He's going to tell me that he loves me too.
I bet you he's gonna say he's gay. I've got a feeling that he's gonna say that, because with these stories, something like that would happen.
I love you, Sarah, he said. I beamed. I've loved you from when we were kids. I've wanted to tell you something for a long time. I know that you'll understand. Sarah, I'm gay.
I knew he was gonna say that. I knew it. Oh my gosh, imagine him and Gilbert are dating. There's so many things that could happen in this video, and I think it actually is gonna happen. See, you guys, I'm able to understand these things. Like, I can tell whenever something's coming. She is not gonna be happy. Like, she's gonna be so mad. Get ready.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. How can Jake be gay? I mean, he just told me that he loved me. Then he said something else that was totally unbelievable.
Is he dating that boy? Like, I bet you they're a couple.
He said that he was in love with Gilbert, and Gilbert felt the same way about him.
I know these things. Like, I can tell whenever something like this happens. You guys, I'm literally a psychic. I'm pretty sure a psychic means that they can, like, predict things. I can predict these things in these stories.
I just sat there and stared at Jake. Of all the things he could have told me that day, this was the last thing that I expected. I reminded him that he was upset when I kissed Gilbert. All this time, I thought he was jealous because he was in love with me.
Nope, he was upset because he was in love with Gilbert. He had a crush on him. Oh my god, this story has taken such a weird twist.
Then Jake laughed. I knew you were just pretending that you forgot about that night, he said. I was trying to save your dignity. I also know that you kissed Gilbert because he's so handsome. I thought that was the reason I fell for him too, but it's not just his looks. You know how Gilbert is. He's so great. Damn, Jake. He knew me too well.
Yeah, she is so mad. Okay, I wonder what's gonna happen next. Is she gonna like cut him off? Is she gonna confront Gilbert? Like, I'm so intrigued in this story.
There was something he knew nothing about. He didn't know that I was in love with him. He kept talking about wanting his own family. He never felt like he was complete because he never knew his own parents. He was scared to come out to other people, especially to his grandparents. He kept asking me if I understood and if I was still his best friend.
See, if he wants a kid, he could probably get a surrogate. I can't really go into detail about it, but basically somebody has a baby for you because, you know, two men can't have a child. So maybe Jake's boyfriend could have a baby with her. I feel like in a way she'd definitely be happy about that.
I couldn't reply. My heart felt like it was being crushed in my chest, so I stood up and left. It was just too humiliating. I didn't see either Jake or Gilbert again that summer. It was a relief when it was finally time to go back to school.
Oh no, I kind of feel bad for her. Like, I feel like she's now gonna go and date a load of people. Oh no, I feel really bad.
I went through a dating craze when I went back to college, and I rarely went home. I didn't want to see anyone from my past. It was probably all over town by now. Everybody probably knew that Jake was gay. I couldn't face everyone feeling sorry for me, so I dated as many boys as I could.
Yeah, she's doing exactly what I'd say not to do. Oh, I feel so bad for her. Like, I really do. She's had her heart broke and now she's doing that. Like, it's not the best thing to do.
I needed to prove to myself that men could fall in love with me. I needed to prove to myself that I didn't need Jake's love. So I ended up dating Wesley, and he became my boyfriend. Then, one day, I was pregnant. There was no other place to go but home. I packed my bags and went home in tears. My life was such a mess. Wesley was just as shocked as I was. He didn't want to be a father, just like I didn't want to become a mom. Not yet, anyway. I was too young. I wanted to get married to a great guy first and have a honeymoon. I wanted a career. I didn't want to be bogged down with a child. I wasn't ready.
Yeah, I kind of understand what she means. Like, sometimes you just aren't ready. If worse comes to worse, you could probably just put the baby up for adoption. Can you even do that? I think you can. You can give any baby up for adoption, pretty sure. I don't know though. But yeah, I understand completely what she means.
I don't know who called him, but suddenly Jake was back home with me too. He knew I was going through a hard time. We both cried a lot together. I feel so alone, I told him. But Jake told me something that completely opened up my mind. I felt alone for a long time too. It's not easy being gay in this town.
Oh, that's so adorable. Like, I feel like their connection is gonna spark up again and they're gonna become best friends. Maybe he could help to take care of the baby, and maybe she could give the baby to him. If they do, that is literally friendship goals.
I know people are judging me. I had hoped for your support when I came out. Then the gravity of what I did suddenly dawned on me. I kept saying that Jake and I were best friends, but I left when he needed me most.
Oh yeah, thinking about it now, she did do that. She ran off. Yeah, I low-key feel bad for him as well.
It's okay, Sarah, he said. I knew it was a shock. He told me that he loved me. He told me that being gay wasn't going to change the fact that I would always be his best friend.
I feel like everyone needs to get a best friend like Jake. Like, honestly, people like him are so important in your life. That's why you need to be careful who you're friends with.
Then he told me that having a baby was one of the best things that could happen to anyone. I don't want this baby, Jake, I replied. You can't mean that you want an abortion, Jake asked me with an angry voice.
Oh, she hasn't even given birth yet? I thought she had. Well, I guess, yeah, she probably could have an abortion. It's up to her. We're gonna find out what she decides.
I sobbed and I nodded. I knew I could never do that. But what else were my options? You can do this. I'll be with you the whole time. You won't be alone.
Oh, he's so comforting. Like, I actually love it. See, everyone needs a person like him in their life.
This baby is going to be so loved by everyone. He begged me not to give the baby away. He reminded me that he grew up without parents. I nodded and agreed. I could be a mother to this baby if I wanted to. After a couple of weeks, I started to feel better with Jake by my side.
Oh, they're like a little duo again. That's so adorable. I really do hope that their friendship stays together and that they're always with each other. Like, they're so adorable. I love it.
He was my rock. I got my strength from him. Then one day, he told me some more news. He and Gilbert decided to get married. I must have cried buckets of tears that day. I was so happy for him. I knew I could never have Jake. Even if I had deserted him in the past, he was still there for me.
Oh, that's so adorable. She's now so supportive of them. Aw, I really do hope that this story ends soon, so it means that it'll end on a high note.
I was happy that he was happy. Somehow, the thought of Jake and Gilbert stopped tormenting me. I love them both very much, and I finally decided that there was no room for jealousy if I loved someone. Jake would always be my first love, and if I loved him enough, I would be happy for him too.
Exactly. During the middle, I was kind of getting a bit sad because I was like, this is definitely going to have a sad ending, but I feel like it's definitely going to have a really nice, warm heart feeling ending now.
They decided to get hitched a few months before I gave birth. Jake asked me to walk him down the aisle.
Aww.
His grandparents didn't approve of their marriage, but I was going to make sure that their wedding was going to be full of love and support. It felt like the most natural thing. I saw this happen in my head when I was just a child. I was wearing a lovely dress and Jake wore a tuxedo.
In a way, this is basically what she used to always imagine, her and Jake walking down the aisle. So honestly, she's probably enjoying this a lot because this is what she always wanted in a way.
Gilbert was waiting for us. It broke my heart a little to let Jake go, but if I was going to lose him to someone, it was good that I was going to give him to a good person like Gilbert.
Oh, it's so adorable. Like, I'm actually so happy how this has ended.
They never even left for a honeymoon. My two boys stayed with me during the whole pregnancy. You're so lucky, Sarah, Gilbert said. As much as I want to be a father, I guess I'll just settle for being your baby's favorite uncle. Hell no, Jake cried. I'm gonna be this baby's favorite person. It warmed my heart to hear them that way. The baby wasn't here yet, and already they were becoming fathers. As usual, Gilbert agreed to give me anything that I wanted. It was great. It was like having two husbands that were super supportive.
Honestly, this baby is gonna have a good life. It's gonna be surrounded by loads of love. I'm honestly so jealous. Like, this baby's gonna be so adorable.
They took care of me. They held my hair back when I threw up. They rubbed lotion on my growing belly so I wouldn't get stretch marks. They even went out in the middle of the night when I wanted to eat some pickles. When I went into labor, I was brave enough to endure the pain. I was going to give this baby the best life it could ever have. So I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. I waited to feel my motherly instincts kick in. I looked at my baby and wondered if I could do the thing that I knew I had to do.
Oh, look at it. It's so adorable. I'm actually so happy right now. Like, I'm literally blushing.
When Jake and Gilbert arrived to visit, I saw them hold the baby in their arms. They looked like a perfect family. I'm finally giving you a wedding gift. Sorry it took so long, I told my boys. You're holding her in your arms. Then I handed Gilbert a stack of papers. It was for my baby's adoption.
I told you earlier, didn't I? She's gonna give the baby to them. I knew that they were gonna adopt her baby. Like, I knew it.
I was giving up my rights as a mother. I was giving them my baby. Of all the years I've known Jake, I've never seen him cry until that day. And I never really realized just how much I loved him.
Oh, that was such a nice story. Like, it ended, but that was so adorable. Anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe and leave a like. Let me know if I should react to more animation videos in the future, and I definitely will. And yes, I will see you all in my next video.